Hello, friends and family. George Casey Jr. here. Over the next several minutes, I want you to think about something. I want you to think about success. And more specifically, I want you to think about what it takes to be successful. I want you to think about what it takes to be successful. Uh, Over the last few weeks, I've been thinking about my life as I often do because I strongly believe in the quote by the philosopher Socrates, who said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Again, that's the unexamined life is not worth living. And I often take the time to look over my life. And over the last few weeks, I've been thinking a lot about 1995. See, in 1995, my life consisted of hanging out on the block, playing cards most of the day, rolling dice, playing dominoes, and drinking. I remember one particular day where my friends and I were out on the front lawn playing spades, drinking 40 ounces. At the time, my drink of choice was a 40 ounce of Coke 45. As we were drinking and playing our cards, I remember a gentleman walked up, and this gentleman looked very sharp, very walked up, very confident. I remember he had a blood stripe down the side of his uniform. He had plenty of stripes on his sleeve. And again, he walked up pretty confidently and began to talk to this group of young folks that all we wanted to do was drink and play cards, hang out. Well, at the time, we could care less what he had to say and pretty much dismissed him. Uh, but I remember this gentleman was pretty persistent, and he came back the next day, and he came back the next day, until one day I began to think, and I said, you know what? I'll sit down with this gentleman and see what he has to say. This gentleman took me to Hooters restaurant, where I first fell in love with Hooter wings. I remember we sat down at a table, ordered 50 Hooter wings and two pitchers of beer, and began to talk about life. He began to tell me how the Marine Corps changed his life. How if it hadn't been for the Marine Corps, he don't know where he would be. He began to tell me how he started a couple businesses and began to express how the Marine Corps instilled in him discipline and changed his life for the better. That gentleman was Gunnery Sergeant Freeman. See, Gunnery Sergeant Freeman, not knowing, because I never had a chance to talk to him after I joined the United States Marine Corps, but Gunnery Sergeant Freeman planted the seed in me that made a difference in my life. I joined the United States Marine Corps, and often I tell people a story now of how the Marine Corps changed my life. How if it hadn't have been for the Marine Corps, no telling where I would be. I've started two businesses, one not so successful and one still ongoing. But it had not been for the Marine Corps, and specifically Gunnery Sergeant Freeman, who was my Marine Corps recruiter, I would not be the gentleman I am today. I strongly believe that. See, Gunnery Sergeant Freeman planted the seed in me. Unfortunately, he never had a chance to see that seed grow. And that's what it takes sometimes to be successful. We have to begin to plant seeds in other people. Seeds that we may or may not ever get to grow, to watch grow. Plant the seed. Nowadays, I spend a lot of my time at high school speaking to JROTC units. I go to prisons. I go to colleges. I go to churches. And I speak to anybody. I tell anybody, I'll speak to anybody. But my passion is speaking to young people because I see myself on the block in 1995, not going anywhere, not doing anything with my life. And I try to speak life into young people. A lot of them I'll never get to see ever in life again. My only hope is that I somehow plant the seed in them, the seed of greatness. And I'll never get to watch it grow, but by faith, I truly believe. I know I will not be able to reach everyone, but by faith, I know I'll reach at least one. I'll plant the seed in at least one that I'll never get to watch grow. It adds to my success and it adds to my value in life. So when you think about success, Think about all the people who have helped you through life, because it takes a village. No one can be successful alone. Think about the people who may have planted a seed in you that they never had a chance to watch grow, whether it be a parent, a grandparent, a sibling, a cousin, a friend, a complete stranger. Think about the value they've added to your life, not even knowing. Think about the value that you add to people's lives, not even knowing. Plant the seed that you'll never get to watch grow. It'll add to your success, it'll add to your value, and it'll add to life. Family and friends, I thank you for spending these last several minutes with me, and I really want you to consider plant the seed that you'll never get to watch grow. Until next time, George Casey Jr. here, signing off.